Hi, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. I'm your host, Richie.
And I'm your host, Kanzi11, aka Farley. Cue the music. This week, Richie, our theme is Wind.
Wind. So we have taken rewind, and because we're so funny, we're making it rewind instead.
It's about wind, but episode is rewind.
Okay.
It could also be about wind, if you want. I've got one wind. Have you got any wind?
I wouldn't even know how to define wind in a game.
Well, we can get onto that in a bit. But first, of course, we have our game of character item level.
The game that takes up 90% of the podcast and is not at all frustrating to listen to at all.
Readers, you can play along at home, except you can't ask me any questions, so you just have to listen to Richie.
And hope that my questions are the ones that you wanted to ask. Okay, right. So, just jump straight in. Is it a character, an item, or a level?
Yes, it is, Richie. It's a level.
It's a level. Okay. Is it Rainbow Road?
Which one? There's like 12 of those now.
Just one of them.
I guess so. Is your question? Is it a Rainbow Road?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Right. That's me out of levels.
Oh well, I better start naming all the levels one by one.
Okay. Is it level 1-1?
1-1. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Alright.
No, it's not level 1-1. I'm counting that as one of your questions.
Okay. Oh, what? Really? You count them?
Yep.
Okay. Why, you gonna have like an average count of questions to answer at the end of the season? That would be amazing, to be honest, just to sort of rank us up.
It's 20 questions.
Okay. No, none of those were questions, by the way. Just
I think two of them definitely were.
But not specifically to the character item level related thing. I was just going off on a tangent.
By asking me questions about levels.
No.
Them.
I'm meaning what I was saying. So, like, are you going to do a tally up?
I see.
Yeah, it's not a question.
Agreed. I thought you were just trying to get out of your...
No. That's fine. It's fine. My level 1-1 and 1-2, whatever, is fine. Whatever. Right, okay. Is this a level from a Nintendo franchise?
No.
Okay, is this a level from a PlayStation franchise?
No.
Okay. Is this a level from Lemmings?
No.
I don't know why I go so specific.
Yeah.
It's literally where my brain goes.
I know.
And I just spew this shit out.
Just think about possibility space.
Yeah.
Going game by game, that's a really bad approach.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
I mean, I guess the flip side to that is if you do get it, you look like a psychic legend.
Yeah, it's true. I suppose it's that whole you throw enough shit at a wall, some of it'll stick. And
yeah.
I mean, I think that's how I get through life, to be honest.
Well, the lemming shit is not sticking this time.
Okay. Okay. So it's not PlayStation and it's not Nintendo. Is it a Sega level? Or level from a Sega franchise?
No.
Okay. Capcom?
No.
This is hard. Okay. Is this from a 16-bit game, as in SNES, Mega Drive?
Is PlayStation 6? No.
No, it's 32-bit. Yeah.
No.
Okay, is it from a 32-bit?
No.
Is it from an 8-bit NES
No.
Master System. Okay. Right. So it's more recent. Is it PlayStation 2? Or
Yes.
PlayStation? Is it from a PlayStation 2 game? A game that was on the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Is this from a survival horror game?
No.
Okay. Is this okay? Right. Okay. PlayStation 2. Let's get this. Let's get this show on road. Is this from a first-person shooter?
Yes.
Is it from a Time Splitters game?
Yes.
Oh my god! There we go. There we go. There we go. Is it the underground gold mine cart one?
No.
Is it the haunted Evil Dead cabin one?
No.
Oh. Is it the ice level? Snowy level?
Yeah.
That's as good as you're gonna get from me on Time Splitters, I'm afraid. The snowy one.
It's named after a real place?
Russia?
No.
Antarctica?
No.
Arctic?
No.
Himalayas?
No. It's a region.
A region?
Yeah.
The ice region?
Yeah, you've basically named all the ice regions apart from this one.
Greenland?
No.
Canada?
No.
Oh my god. Alps?
No.
Oh, this is hard. Geographically, is it in the northern hemisphere?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is it a mountain range?
It's bigger than that.
Okay, is it Siberia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, good. I'm sorry, I don't remember my Time Splitters levels particularly well.
That's fine. This was the first level.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, Siberia. Yeah. So, oh no. Well, it's the first proper level.
You did a proper Lemmings oh no just there.
Oh, no.
That was excellent.
Hello.
No. Right.
Well done. Well done.
Cool. Now we've actually got 90% of the podcast to do.
Well, that's a bit intimidating. We're talking about reasons known only to us. The theme of wind. Wind, Richie, one of the 4 kind of classic elements,
Yep.
which are
Earth, fire, water, and
Yeah.
wind.
where would you say wind
Ranks.
ranks on that list?
I mean, fire's clearly top.
I agree. Even though, if you think about it for a second, it kind of shouldn't be because it's weak to the other 3 elements. But I agree.
Yeah. And water's probably very, very useful as seen in things like Avatar, because you can do such things as, if you're able to control water, you can control blood, and you can control, bodies which are 90% water and stuff like that.
Yeah, it solves one of the major survival issues, right? If you can create
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think but it's not as cool as fire, right? So that's why it's
Exactly.
not top.
Fire is straight up fireballs, which is what everybody wants in life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fireballs, it's
Yeah.
volcanoes, it's possibly like lava, magma,
It's cooked food.
it's flamethrowers.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to like, okay, well, we need, something practical. It's not as useful as water. There's some utility there, but it's just cool.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be the fire guy, right? Nobody really wants to be the water guy, even though it's arguably more useful. Let me come to
But yeah, bear in mind that people use water cannons as deterrents, not as lethal weapons. Whereas
true.
fire is,
Water does I think is the element of passivity and passivism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we get to what is clearly the bottom two. Now, when you think of Earth and Earth powers, there's not really much there, right? There's like making columns of rock and doing earthquakes, but that's kind of it. Throwing a rock.
I feel like, I feel like Earth doesn't get as much love as it should do. The Earth, in theory, contains things like steel, iron, or not steel, obviously, but like iron and all these other rich, heavy metal elements and things like that. That's very powerful. And in theory, magma. So you could go toe to toe with a fire dude, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's heavy, it's clunky. You always think of like the Thing or some big golem.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think of it as, all right, this guy he wields Earth. Did you watch Avatar? Like, did you ever watch that series?
I tried at one point, but it was so old man and confused about it that I think I came in at some weird. I was like, oh, everyone keeps going on. People I don't really like keep going on about Avatar.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? And then you go, oh, all right, I'll watch Avatar. And then it's like, do you want to watch the short film or the live action or this one or this one? I was like, oh, which one's the good one? Which one's the? It just holds no interest in me.
Yeah.
It's called bending, and part of me just can't get over the
No, I hear you.
Benders.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking for the firebender.
Oh my. The 12-year-old in you, the non-PC 12-year-old, you won't let you enjoy
it's
that.
Just they're cool and they're monks and they're doing whatever, but they're going around calling each other benders.
That is the worst reason not to like that series. I watched.
Sell me on it.
I watched the animated series. I haven't watched the live action yet.
But isn't there like a short film that's good and a thing that's not good and a spin-off season that's good or not good or?
The animated series is
too much.
Yeah, it's actually not a long series, but it's good. The only problem with it is it feels a little Saturday morning cartoony, as in at the end of the episodes, it almost like you could see them turn to the camera and give you a moral about that sort of stuff.
Those morals.
But because it's Western, but it's done in a kind of love letter to anime style, it is quite Eastern and everything. I would say that the characters are done in a very, very likable fashion. There's very few characters that I don't like in it. The idea of bending, which of course is your big major issue, I think is quite cool.
Kick the door down and go, I'm here to challenge the biggest bender. He's the most powerful bender there ever.
That's true.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
But yeah, so that's the whole thing. The Avatar has the ability to bend air, wind, fire, and water. But he needs to learn it, so he's gone on this journey, sort of like a pilgrimage.
Whoa, is it air different to wind? You said air, wind, or is it?
No, sorry, I meant wind actually. Wind, water, fire, and earth. Okay. But yeah, in doing so,
okay,
yeah.
So wind is called air in Avatar, right? Yeah,
wind
it's
and air.
Airbender, right?
Yeah, okay. It's airbender, of course, yeah. So yeah, and that's the whole thing. He is the last of the tribe of the airbenders.
Well, there's obvious reasons why these tribes don't hang around long.
But God, but then he has.
Surprised there's any benders left. Yeah, go on.
But so it's a pilgrimage, and he has to go and learn from the water. Mm-hmm. People who bend water, the people who bend fire, and the people who bend earth. And so, as he goes on this pilgrimage, he's also sort of gathering friends. And there's this relationship, and it is genuine, like good relationships. It's not just like, oh, we've just recruited a new character, because people come and go. And yeah, no, I liked it, and I loved the concept of bending. Like, yeah, I know, because it just
big fan of bending.
yeah, but because it fits in with that whole kung fu sort of style.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you have control and mastery of an element, which is what these tribes do, and it's not expected that anybody would be able to do everything, or indeed, not everybody in that tribe is able to do.
Bend.
Yeah, exactly. So, I enjoyed it. It was an adventure.
Yeah.
And yes, what you were saying is, yes, there is, I believe, a feature film, but I don't think it sums up.
Okay.
You need to watch the series, and then the feature film fits in somewhere.
And then there's Korra.
The Legend of Korra, right? So basically, everything that happens in The Last Airbender is like, that's its own story.
Yeah.
Korra is set like 50, 60 years after, and she is the next Avatar. But all of the characters who were in the previous ones are now grown up, and therefore you see the world that they've created. And it's quite interesting. It's also very, very LGBTQIA positive, which was quite good for something that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's quite early, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I think the only reason I watched it is I was at a state where I was unemployed. And I was looking for jobs, and I just had Avatar running in the background, and so I would watch the entirety of it whilst I was like doing applications and stuff like that, and it was a very positive vibe, which was nice.
Great. To bring it back to the video
actual
games,
podcast, yeah.
There are a bunch of Airbender games, aren't there?
Yeah, so very famously, there was a Avatar: The Last Airbender game for the Xbox 360, which all of the Chivo whores, do you remember that term?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, Chivo whores loved, because it had 4 achievements, each worth 250 points each. And basically it was do a move, do a move, do a move.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you got, 1,000 points.
Wow. Did you play that game?
Nope.
Brilliant.
Why not talk about it more? I mean, that's what we do.
I know. Brilliant. In The Last Airbender is one of the maybe the clues in the title. Is one of the elements better than the others?
I think they all like to think that they're all better than each one, and then there's this, the whole moral is that all of them come together, sort of thing. And yeah.
So we were ranking the elements. We've still got to place Earth and Wind. I think Earth is probably number 3.
Yeah, Earth. Well, it depends. As I was saying, you think big, clunky. It doesn't get enough love and lore, because I think there's more things you can do with the Earth than be a big clunky guy that hits people with rocks.
Yeah, I think if you were like some kind of Earth wizard,
yeah,
you could be like, right, I'm gonna like
clad myself in iron,
remove all the nutrients from the soil.
Yeah,
and your people will starve unless you bend to my will.
Everybody's bending.
Everybody's bending. Rebend. Is that really? It's not a thing. Rebend. Rebound. No.
Oh, rebound's a good one though.
Rebound is a good one.
Notes for later.
And then we got wind.
Yeah. So wind, I always associate with like sharp and cutting, or flying. Now I would probably put flying up better than throwing a rock at someone. Although, if you think about it,
yeah,
Magneto could be like an
Earthbender.
An earthbender, yes. You should never watch that series, actually. Because he has the ability to control and move metals.
Metal. Yeah.
And he does that whole flying thing by putting himself on a metal plate.
True.
Uh,
Yeah. Maybe Earth, yeah. Oh my god, I'm so bored talking about this. I'm not bored, I'm just very tired. Yeah, maybe, Earth, magnetism, maybe those things. Anyway, let's talk about what do you think about when you think about wind powers? I think, to me, it is Saturday morning cartoon. Oh no, we're all in a tornado! Someone's making a tornado. Someone's spinning around so fast or creating a tornado, and that doesn't really solve the problem, right? It's just like everyone can just fuck off over there for a bit, but they're just gonna come back, right? It's not like they're being burned to an ash or drowned or swallowed up by the earth. It's just we're gonna blow you around a bit. Do we include like storm powers as wind?
I think, yeah, that's
Lightning,
a good shout.
thunder.
Well, weather is different from wind. Wind is a part, because I think wind and air need to be sort of together, not wind and weather.
Can you imagine? Okay, what would be a better power if you've got three people with these elemental powers? One has air, one has wind, and one has pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot you could do with pressure.
I think that's the secret. Yeah, I think you could just really fuck people up with pressure.
Yeah,
right?
just pop their eardrums.
just give immediate. You can give people the bends by increasing them, reducing the pressure really quickly. Yeah, you can just explode them, or get them to kind of boil alive in their skin.
Yeah. Nothing better than a live skin boiling.
Yeah, and I think if you're a pressure bender, you could create like storm systems, right?
Absolutely. So maybe, yeah, sort of like, I guess when you think of Storm as in Storm of the X-Men,
Yes.
her powers are like a mixture of pressure and air.
Yeah, and rain, water.
Well, I mean, surely you can make a rain cloud. No, maybe I'm wrong actually with pressure, because you're just taking moisture from the stratosphere.
Are storms powers? I feel like a lot of the other X-Men, it's kind of a bit clearer, or at least specific. But with Storm, she's kind of OP, right?
Yeah. Storm is always put in the S-class mutants, as in like, you do not want to fuck with her. So she has the ability to fly because she can just create a tornado underneath herself.
Uh-huh.
It feels like she has the powers of a primary one explanation of what weather is.
Yeah, so
Here's a rain cloud, here's a sun, here's a lightning cloud, and here's a little hurricane. Without any real explanation or science behind it. It's just like, hey, you know what? Now you've got a lightning bolt coming right down at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does feel very kindergarten in its execution.
Yeah.
Even in the Marvel films, it's just like, oh, lightning. Brr.
Yeah, you can just pull lightning out from nothing. You don't necessarily have to be outside. Yeah. There's no.
And how can she just suddenly create a hurricane? Like, a hurricane is a high pressure, low pressure coming together, and the force being immense, and it then, or as tornadoes, actually reach the ground. Whereas she can make a tiny little gust that can somehow spin directly around her feet and keep her stable and upright.
I think she's actually a pressure bender. With the power of lightning.
Ruined it for me.
With the power of lightning.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've ruined one of my things. That's like one of 4 characters who I said had wind power. Okay, so that's wind powers, everybody.
But no. Hang on. You asked me that question when you think of wind.
Oh, yeah.
And I sort of touched on this before. I always think like sharp razor, sort of like. So I think of things like in Soul Calibur as a character that's got sort of wind style. I forget her name. Tellim, and she can do sort of like sharp razor, windy things, and things like when you use like fans and stuff like that, they tend to be sharp. So I always think of like very thin, sharp air projectiles. Do you know what I mean?
But is it this Soul Calibur character is not ringing a bell with me whatsoever. Do they create ice in the air from the air being cold, or
No,
is
no,
it
no.
just?
It's just a thin razor of air. So it's like the force of it.
Oh,
So
okay, just hyper concentrated,
yeah. So like,
fast moving air.
or what's her name? Kitana from Mortal Kombat. She has the fans and she creates these sort of vacuums and little
Oh yeah,
little gusts of air that are super sharp. Like, and I guess this comes from the whole sort of kung fu thing of being able to sort of move your hands so quickly that you put out a whole bunch of candles and stuff like that. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like controlling air in that fashion, I like that idea. That the air is like razor sharp, in games or how that's replicated, or even in popular media. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's certainly more effective than Oh, there's a strong wind.
Yeah.
And when there are games, again we have to mention every season. Gris, just fucking look it up. Whatever that game is, there's a big. There's
You
a
know, there's
big.
a sequel,
No, is it out
but
already?
it's not a sequel. It's the same people,
Yeah.
and they're telling another story, and I believe it's out this quarter. But yeah, the same guys are bringing out a game, or is already out. So just sorry, back to Gris.
That was the level that came to mind when I was thinking about wind, and there's a level in that where you have to kind of move against this wind,
Yeah.
and then anyone who's played two video games can already visualize the mechanic. There's a wind. You have to get behind cover, wait for the wind to die out, and run to the next piece of cover. It's no fun. It's acceptable. It's super fun in Gris. Don't get me wrong, because it's you fight against depression or whatever. But yeah, whenever you come across that mechanic in other games, it's not fun because you work out what you have to do. It's
Yeah.
frustrating if you get it wrong. If you have like, okay, 1, 2, 3 walls to get past, I'm done. That's fine. If then they're like, oh, and now you have to do a lever whilst the wind's blowing. It's like, well, this isn't challenging. It's just wait. Just it's patience.
Yeah.
It's testing my patience. And there's nothing
In the most literal fashion, it is testing your patience. Yeah.
testing your patience. And I don't know. I think mechanics around you have to wait in video games can be very difficult to make satisfying.
Yeah.
Especially if you get it wrong, you're blown back to the beginning. It's like, well,
Yeah. 100%.
great.
But yes. Okay. What about other flying mechanisms? Like we talked about storm flying, but quite often you'll often get little hurricanes that'll give you like a boost and jump, and you can fly. These little static little cyclones that are sitting in the middle of a platform and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think there's lots of Mario wind
Yes.
guys. He's a thing with a face, a cloud with a face, and he's blowing out tornadoes you can jump on and move around.
I mean, I'm sure that isn't a thing, but also, yes, it feels like it should be a thing in Mario.
I remember those guys in Mario Odyssey. Are they the big chilly wind guys, right?
Yeah.
And you throw your hat on them, and then you can float around as a Cloud?
From Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. If you throw Cappy Cap onto a big ice blowy man Cloud, you turn into Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, plunge to your death, and break your kneecaps.
Yep. And accidentally stab Aerith on the way.
And yourself, yeah. Skewer yourself in Aerith.
Yeah.
But if you do that, instead of getting the game over screen, you get the Final Fantasy VII continue screen.
I don't know that music. I've never seen that screen. Listen, I think we need to recoup and have a little think about what part 2 is going to be. So let's take
What
a
do you
quick...
mean? I got tons of stuff. You mean you're out of all that quality stuff?
I think we should have an intermission.
Okay. I still don't understand the mechanics of it. Okay, are we going? Is the audience going to break? Are we in a theatre? Who knows?
We're just having an intermission where you and I are having a chat.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Are we going in a different room?
I mean, sure. If it helps you get into the right mental space,
It does.
we are going into another. We're going in. In my head, we always go into like a dodgy, dodgy bar in a theater, which has like the sticky red carpet floor and white painted plaster walls with the sort of like the nice cladding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the kind of bar where you wait just long enough to get a drink and then you have to go and sit down with your drink?
Yeah, but somehow and magically we had the preconception to go and get the drinks, so we're just picking them up and we're sitting down immediately.
Okay, fine. What are we watching? The pod? Are we watching our own pod? Let's just.
No, we're going back. In fact, you know what? We've got our own little room.
Okay, let's go back into our little room then. We'll
And then everyone else, yeah.
We'll see after the break, guys. I'm doing the gay wave.
The what?
The gay wave.
Surely we should continue the theme of Bender? No?
Okay, I'll do the Bender wave.
Let's not. Let's try and stay a little bit woke here.
I'm not saying bending's bad. I'm just saying it's funny.
No. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. We're here now. So,
And just shut the door behind us. Whoa. Ooh.
Right.
Ooh.
I meant to tell you
Yeah.
about the other day. Every story starts with this. The other day there.
I think we should put out a special episode at the end of the season where we just cut this out and put it back to back and just see how it doesn't improve.
Yeah, like if we can get the chronological order, it's just...
It just doesn't go anywhere. Anyway,
we don't know. No, I have faith that by the end of the season we will have this locked in, and we will learn a lesson for season 6 to lock in what our skits are.
Just fucking lock in. I'm locked in. I'm there. I'm in a room. We're in a dark room.
Yeah. So the other day there,
Yeah.
I was stoating about, as I do. I was shooting enemies and bad guys and jumping around with my Mega Blaster.
Oh yeah. I love a Mega Blaster, me.
Yeah. You know, and it's how it goes. You defeat a rock man or an air man or a fireman, and you get your upgrades. You know, and just enjoying.
Okay, this is where I clocked where you're going. Yeah.
The ambience.
Nice.
And I mean, obviously, like Dr. Willie?
This episode.
Wiley?
No, it's Willie now.
Dr.
To Willie, yeah.
He's given me all of these abilities and upgrades.
Okay, easy, okay. Yeah.
And I'm doing my best. I was,
Right.
jumping about,
Yeah.
saving the world, whatever the name of the world is.
What is the plot from those games? Who knows?
Oh, I know what it is because they mention it an awful lot in Capcom Infinite. But yeah, anyway. So I'm doing my thing.
Right.
As it turns out, Dr.
Yeah.
Willie has
Yeah.
several creations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've got a buddy called Zero.
Right. How's he?
Moody and edgelordy.
Massive edgelord. Yeah.
There's this other girl
Oh, yeah.
called Roll.
Oh, right. That doesn't make any sense. So what, Mega and Roll? That doesn't make any sense, does it?
It really doesn't. And this is where it gets right on my tits.
Yeah.
Because do you know what I had to do? I met Roll,
Yeah.
and then I met
Yeah.
Rock. And do you
Right.
know who Rock was?
No.
Yeah? I know, because I had to talk to a fucking dog.
Hey!
That was...
That's-
Go on.
I didn't know that dog was called Rock.
See, now I'm doubting it as well.
Because I thought the joke was that Mega Man is Rockman in Japan, so that's why Rock and Roll makes sense. And then they change it to Mega Man, and then it makes less sense.
The dog's called Rush.
Well, fuck. This is the first one of these skits that's full of flat on its face.
Do you know what? I think it's one of the better skits, even if I did get Rush wrong.
I agree. I agree.
You set me up with the whole rock and roll, Mega and roll, and I was like, oh wait a minute, okay,
Yeah.
and just doubted myself. Yeah, no, it's Rush.
Oh, fine. Right. Well. Oh shit. We gotta go back in on stage.
Yeah, we're back on stage. It's magic.
Hey.
Bush.
Now, Richie. Can you think of some video games which has wind in it?
Good question, Farley.
Yeah.
I can think of one.
Okay.
Abe's Odyssey. Yeah, that's literally the only piece of research I did for this because I laughed thinking about wind. How many games do farts? Oh, Abe's Odyssey.
I want to see, and the rest is just watching a 5-hour loop of somebody go, follow me. Okay.
Yeah. And there we go. Brilliant.
I mean, in all seriousness, that Abe's Odyssey, it was quite an influential game, I think. And when it came out, it really shook up. There's just something about the timing. It was also, I think, quite technologically accomplished.
But it was so basic as well.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Remember when we played Creatures and how hard it was?
No.
The Commodore 64 game, and it's all just set in one screen.
Oh, yeah.
So
No,
Abe's Odyssey is basically a remake of Creatures.
What? What? Canonically? Or
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mechanically.
Mechanically.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And it's weird because, like, that isn't a game. Like, Abe's Odyssey isn't a... No. It is a game. But it's not a game that exists today. That's not something that you can play. Like, those kinds of single-screen platformers. I mean, I'm sure there's an indie darling out there that does it.
Yeah.
But it's not something... There's not even a name for it.
No, you're right. You're right. Because they're not really point and click. It's kind of... Oh, God, what's that? I talk about it occasionally. iconic one where you get that guy and there's lasers and it shoots you, and there's the big guy and you have to go in a cave and work it out.
Lemmings.
No, I'm so annoyed. I don't know. It's like a classic game and it gets re-released every now and then.
Oh, Another World.
Another World. Thank you. Oh my god.
Yes, Another World is a very good example of Creatures remake.
Yes. Another one, which I think of is Neverhood.
Neverhood.
Yeah, I keep bringing up Neverhood, and you always say Neverhood, and I don't think I've actually recommended you should play it. I recommend you should play it.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know it?
Oh yeah, I do. With the duck face and the post box. Yeah.
With the duck face in the post box.
The claymation game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the claymation, essentially the same as Another World.
Just to be very, very clear, I don't know if you're like, because you talk about this. I hate Another World. I have a nostalgia for it,
Yeah.
but I will never play that game remastered or whatever. It is too hard. It is just too hard, and it's too brutal. It is not a fun game. I love the idea. I love watching that intro over and over and over again as he gets blasted to another world. But that opening sequence where you have to go and walk and run, and then there's the big beast that chases you, and then you have to run backwards and jump over the silly leech things that kill you every single time. Ugh. I'll never play it. I'll never play it.
Okay. Well, then you probably won't look like the Neverhood. But also, Abe's Odyssey, from memory,
Yes,
I
very
played it when
similar.
it first came out,
Yeah.
is also quite hard.
Yes, but it was always
Um,
comedic. It was kind of like you get crushed, or
Yes. Yeah.
something silly,
But
explode.
to get serious for a second, the fart bit is one of those genius bits of games where, who knows what happens. Someone programs in a fart for a laugh, and then the dev team's like, oh, I found the fart. Actually, that's quite funny. Actually, let's keep it in. It's like those like incidental things that you can do. It's a bit like when platforming characters have a "I'm stood too near the edge" animation, right?
Yes.
Or flushable toilets, right? Mechanically, it's adding nothing to that game whatsoever. But it's like a fun thing, and I remember distinctly when you did the fart when there was another. What are they called? I can't remember what they're called.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah, me there, guy. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, whatever the name of that race is. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the name of that race is on the screen, and they laugh. You're like, whoa, hang on.
They laugh as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they knew that I was gonna fart at another guy, and they programmed in a response.
Yeah.
And to me, that, as well as the clever, follow me mechanics and whatnot,
Yeah.
really edged that game into.
It's weird, like, as you're talking about this, I'm just very aware that I have played Abe's Odyssey, and the only thing I remember from that game is the interactions with the other oddities. But the fart, that's about it. That is it. Like, you were talking about how hard it was, and I said, yeah, it was funny, and you get crushed. Like, I'm saying that because I don't remember that. The only thing I solidly remember is that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's a good. All the Oddworld games look good, but I've not played any of them apart from
Demo 1.
Yeah, basically, yeah. No, we played it to death on Demo 1, and then my friend picked it up because we were just so blown away by it.
Yeah.
Especially considering if you have a look at everything else that's coming in 1997, there was nothing really quite like it.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's a unique monster of a game, and that's what I'm saying. It's like it is quite unique because it's Very different from anything that you would see today as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, don't know. Did you touch Strangers of Wrath? Wrath?
Strangers of Wrath.
That was the shooter, Xbox shooter. Kind of with a Western setting in the Oddworld.
Oh,
universe.
yeah. And yeah, they had the mean-looking cowboy alien guy. No, I
With the
did
crossbow that would fire different ammo.
not. Yeah.
Me neither. Brilliant. Do you know another game character who farts a lot?
Do they fly via farting?
Sometime, but kind of like a hover.
Okay, tell me.
Wario.
Wario farts a lot. Yes, he does.
Yeah, it's one of his moves in Smash.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I never really played Wario. I don't know why does sometimes he have big farts.
I think it's because he's a bulkier, more obese guy.
Yeah, but how does he get big farts? Is it random or? I'm looking it up right now.
Oh,
Sometimes,
you mean like maybe? Yeah, maybe yeah.
sometimes he does a huge fart cloud, and sometimes he just does a little tiny lip and then looks over his shoulder.
Maybe he's picked up an edible from the stage, an egg. That would be quite cool.
Do you want to know his fart move in different languages?
No,
Translated?
no.
Okay. His move is called Wario Waft in English.
Waft. Yeah, Wario waft.
Wario Waft.
Okay.
Wario Waft has its own. Oh my god! It has its own page. Wario's Down special. First in Brawl. Oh yeah, he has a big fart that he does in a trailer. What is attack? His fart becomes more powerful the more time it's had to charge, ranging from a tiny poot to massive explosion.
Poot.
The move has poot.
Yeah, that's awful.
The move has 4 stages, and Wario's stomach grows as the move charges. If Wario eats using his chump, it will make his waft charge faster. There we go. And his charge, his waft charge, carries over even after he's KO'd.
No.
I'm glad I knew that because I knew it was different, but I never really worked out how apparently his belly gets bigger.
I feel like somebody's gonna become a Wario main.
So, here's that bike move, that annoying bike move, which when you're forced to play, like, oh, he's got this bike move, I don't know how to get, and you just drive off the edge.
Okay. Right. Any more farts in games you want to bring up?
Not for me now. I'm out of fart-based gaming things.
I feel like there's definitely more fart-based games as well. I feel like during the sort of Commodore 64 and Amiga, lonely developers.
Oh God, yeah.
There'll be so many.
More games about a pot of jam which goes and farts. Okay.
Yeah, not even that. It'll be like Monkey Island point and clicks. Will definitely have fart jokes in them. You know.
All I can think of, like Broken Sword. All I can think of is Broken Sword 2.
Okay. Yeah.
And that annoying guy's voice. And then he asked me if I wanted to fart.
Oh gosh, that's a really weird statement. Freaks me out. Right. Okay. Other games with air and flying and wind. Pilotwings. Pilotwings has flying.
Well, Pilotwings has flying, but I don't think. Oh yeah, wind. Does wind have an effect?
Yes. So, you'll
But
have
only on the. It's only on like the parachute stage, right?
Yeah, so parachute will be based on inertia as well. But I think also like the jetpack, because you'll be getting blown about and you'll have to hold the jetpack and try and stay stationary, kind of like a hawk sort of thing.
Oh, really? I don't remember wind in Pilotwings.
I feel like there must be wind in Pilotwings, but the more I'm talking, the more I'm doubting myself.
Because that game's not hard enough.
Yeah.
I put a lot of time into the first Pilotwings, because I had a version of it for some mad reason on Virtual Console. And it is compelling, but it's just fucking tough, especially the plane missions. You know,
Yeah.
okay, I got to fly around, do a ring, get a thing, get a ring. Okay, I'm running out of fuel.
Did you
And
play it on
then
the N64?
it's just like 50-50 whether you're going to land or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, because I got this notion that I really want to get into Pilotwings, and then I thought, but I'm going to do it a Richie style. So let's start with Pilotwings, and then when I beat Pilotwings, I can
Move to Pilotwings N64.
Pilotwings 64, and then the 3DS one, and
So I started with Pilotwings 64.
Oh, yeah.
Like completely unaware that there was even a SNES version of it. And I love the memories I have of that game. I hate every second that I play it. Like, it is so hard. Like, getting those rings and the time that I took and spent trying to nail the courses to get all of those rings. And there's some long courses where it's just like, all right, you don't know where the next ring is. It's actually heading down in this canyon. You're going to have to take a nosedive to get to it. You should have been nosediving as you went through that previous ring. And you're like, oh no, now I'm just not going to get it. I'm going to flail about, and I'm going to fly, and then I'm going to go up, and then I'm going down. Oh, all right. I've hit Ebb Mountain. Great.
I think that's we should do a ranking at some point. But up there, maybe not top 10, but maybe top 30, somewhere up there in my worst feelings that games can make you have is when you are flying through a target and you think you're straight on, and then you kind of correct and then overcorrect and correct and then you kind of just go through the side of it and it doesn't count.
Yeah. You suddenly forget all of the mechanics that you know exist. You know to pull up and you'll go up, or you know just to gradually turn it. Instead, it's like as if you were driving a car and then just forgot that. Hey, do you know what? Just turning the whole wheel right round will just make your car spin. You won't just go to the left. You will spin your car, and you just. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like some weird primal part of your brain just takes over, where it's kind of like, oh, I just want to play some basic, third-person shooter. I'm not playing Pilotwings. I'm just going to treat this like a third-person shooter, and I'm just going to go left. No, I've hit a wall, and now I'm up and going upwards for some reason. I'm an idiot. I hate it.
And then I've missed the ring, and then sometimes you can see the next ring, but it won't let you go through it because you've missed one.
Because you've missed one, and there's genuinely only enough time.
And then what you do is you turn around and you go backwards through the ring, but now you've wasted all your time and you're facing the wrong direction, so you can't even see where the next ring is.
So you're gonna do But instead of turning all the way around in the most efficient way, you're going to swing all the way around on one two-dimensional plane rather than just going up and round. Like you know how to do. You know how to do it. It's just you don't think to do it. Yeah.
You've played this 1,000 times before. Every flying game, every Lego game has this mechanic. It's a known thing. And I think missing that ring is one of the worst feelings. I hate that mechanic. We should get rid of flying through rings because it brings you nothing but sadness.
Yeah.
When you don't.
Even the accomplishment comes with that horrible post realization of the 8 hours that I've spent trying to learn this course. I've finally done it.
But that's why Pilotwings on the SNES.
And you've got a bronze score.
Yeah, That's why Pilotwings in the SNES is so brutal because you have to qualify to get through to like the next series of levels, and so you have to play 4 levels, and
Yes.
the qualification's really tight. So you could, work out how to do level one after failing. Go, okay, fine. I could do quite well on with whatever the biplane or landing. Then you do the jetpack level, and then you basically you just do X many runs and you work out how to do that. And you have to do like I think it's 4 of the fuckers, and so you can nail 3 of them perfectly, and if you have a really shit run on the 4th one, it's like, oh well, never mind. Do all of this again.
Yep.
That's why I've not finished Pilotwings on the Super Nintendo.
No, and it's exactly the same sort of stuff in Pilotwings 64. You have to have a score above, so you can get a gold on something,
Yeah.
and you can get maybe 2 bronzes,
Yep.
and then you'll get through it. But you'll also like there'll be some courses you just can't do. Like you'll be like, all right, I'd be happy to get a bronze on this level,
Yeah.
just so that I can progress.
Yeah.
Or you'll just be at like this point where, right, I need one more. I've silvered everything I can. Now I have to go back and do the horrible hand gliding, in the hope that I can just do it and actually land at the end.
And that's another horrible feeling is
Yeah.
games where you have to land on a target. And you're like, okay, yeah. Oh, now I'm on the outermost ring.
Or you've hit the middle of it, but you hit it too fast, so you've just died. That was the thing in 64 as well. Yeah. But yeah, like there was other just horrible, brutal things. Like there is having skill in those games, but there's also a massive element of luck and persistence. And I think like 90% of my gaming back catalogue is luck and persistence, you know, until you get the skills. Like, you can finish Devil May Cry 1 without knowing how to do a combo. But then you play the next difficulty up, and then you're like, you know what? I'm glad I have unlocked some of the combos because now I'm going to use them and understand them. And then you'll use them, and then you'll be shite, and then you'll brute force it, and then you're like, oh, right, I was better when I used the combos. Right, learn the combos, do it properly, press the buttons, don't tap tap tap, just tap tap tap, and then you become better. You learn skill, but there are times when you just want that brute force luck and persistence of, hey, for some reason the boss character didn't do that mechanic, and now I can just continue to rattle X until he dies. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you manage to push them to the point where they glitch and they can't hit you, but you can hit them, and so just rattle X. You know, luck and persistence.
Yeah. It's like I've been playing Resident Evil Revelation.
There's a Resident Evil Revelations?
Yeah, there is. Very good. I recommend you play it. Alongside Neverhood. And there's a raid mode. And of course there are kind of rankings for raid mode. And that whole thing has been designed so that you play it for hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
And then I approach it as, okay, I want to get a S rank, and all 4. There's like 4 things you can do. So you get a reward if you don't use healing, you don't get hit, you do it at the appropriate level, and then a reward for if you got the other 3 awards at the same time. And
I get
I get frustrated when I don't get all 4 but you're struggling, right? Your weapons are a shitty level, and and you do the raid, and then you get better weapons, and it's all about improving, and then you kind of like buy ammo storage, so then you have more ammo when you go into it. But the way I rationalize it is like, I'm gonna cheap it. And sometimes you do cheap it, and you feel absolutely amazing, and then other times it's just frustration, or get hit, and okay, I'll restart rather than do it. It's like, no, you're supposed to do it. or get really really frustrated. Say, oh, this game is bullshit. This enemy's too hard. It's like, why don't you use any of your 40 grenades? Well, because then I have to buy more grenades.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh my god.
they've given
Yeah.
you these tools to do it. You're getting frustrated because you can't one shot. You can't get everything first time, cheapsing it, and then you're getting frustrated. But the game is not designed like that. The game is designed for A, for you to play it and play it a lot, but B, like, use all the tools at your disposal rather than giving yourself hard mode and then getting frustrated because you've self-imposed hard mode.
I'm such that, like, that's the whole thing in me not pressing block. It's exactly the same thing. If I can't beat whatever fighting game without pressing block, then why do I care? Do you know what? It's weird. It's like I don't know what it is about block. Like, it's in fighting games. I dislike using block against the computer. I don't know why. Because it's perfectly valid.
I think, yeah, because I think it's just because I think it's because it's a bit of it's rooted in, offense is the best form of defense.
No, but I love dodge. Like,
love dodge. I'm not gonna learn block or parry. I put parry in the same family as block, and
yeah, no, I'm with you.
I
I'm
will
with you.
never
100.
fucking parry in my life. I won't even learn what button it is because it's too difficult, and it's just another frustrating
Just
thing.
let it happen. Just let it happen occasionally. Oh,
Yeah,
a parry
yeah.
happened. Great.
Oh, parry.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally meant to do that, even though I don't actually know what you have to press to parry
Yeah,
or when
yeah.
you have to press it. Yeah, I agree. Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like, but yeah, dodge is great because that feels like you're like, especially in Devil May Cry's, like you have, and I hate it in like or Bayonetta even better, dodge, blooming stops time.
Yeah.
And they do the same in Transformers Devastation, which is basically Bayonetta with giant robots.
Yeah.
And you pause time. That feels so good. Whereas block feels like, oh, you've taken a bit of my health off anyway. I'm not getting a perfect.
Exactly.
I'm not getting a perfect.
I think that's it. Even though you were never getting a perfect anyway, but if you accept block into your heart, that is the.
You're accepting
loser.
less than 100%.
Exactly.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Even if it means you have to do it 1,000 times instead of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not eliminate that possibility of a perfect. You know.
Why would I do that? Why would I impose that on myself?
Yeah. Why would you, like, out of everything that you could do, choose to not have 100%?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's true, and that's why I'm at so in Pokken Tournament, both versions of which I've got, I kind of played through the entire story, which isn't too hard, but I was kind of happy it wasn't hard, without using, there's like a block and there's also like a counterattack thing, yeah, and so I'm happy that I don't have to use it, and I think perhaps they make it easy to get through to credits and you can replay it without doing those things, but it's a necessary thing when you play online. Yeah, because I don't know, I just don't want it as part of my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Like I can see the benefit of everything else. So the ultimate move, that's fine. Throw, brilliant, that's useful. I can pull that out.
Grenades.
Yeah, great.
Not at all. You need to have 40 out of 40. Otherwise, you haven't won the level.
Also, because I use them and I have to buy them. So if I just don't use them, but if you don't use them, you're not going to progress.
Yeah.
So there's no issue about whether you're buying or not because
you need that massive hoard of gold.
Exactly, and
which you can only use to buy grenades. But you need a massive hoard of gold
in case something else comes up.
In case Satan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unless you've got 100k gold, I'm killing your family.
Unless you've got 1 million gold in Resident Evil Revelations on the PlayStation 4 raid mode, I'm going to come down and ravage the earth. Another game, because Resident Evil has wind in it. Did you ever play Flower?
Flower rings a bell, rings a bell, rings a bell.
It was very much a bit like Journey. Everyone thought, oh, Flower, oh, it's a wonderful game. I think early PlayStation 3 days, but it is a game where you play
Hey,
as...
just a very, very quick one.
Yeah.
If you wanted to Google flower,
Yeah.
put in more than just the word flower.
I don't know. Surely the PlayStation 3 game will be quite high up on that.
No, I got flower ordering services just so I could get some context whilst you were speaking. Sorry, please go on. Sorry.
Just have a look.
Yeah.
Those things you're seeing, those are flowers. In Flower, you play as the wind.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you kind of blow around and you collect petals, and it's very beautiful.
Nice.
I think it's now out on Steam. But yeah, it's one of the few games where you play as the wind that I could think of.
Yeah, I can't really think of many other as the wind games.
Yeah. There we go. It's a good game. It's like a do nothing really happens. You blow petals around and you go to new levels. But yeah, pretty chill game. Pretty cool. And then I wrote down Storm from X-Men, and
We talked about that already.
And then I was thinking about Pokemon.
Wind Pokemon. I suppose you've got all of the tornado people.
You got the Tornado, the Genies, the Djinns.
Gins, yeah.
Then you've also got Icy Wind, Razor Wind.
Oh, the moves, yeah.
Aeroblast.
Yeah.
Richie, what is wind super effective against and why? Wind type.
Wind type. Bird type.
Yeah.
It's super effective against grass.
Oh my god, what is it called? I genuinely lost my wind type, air type. Flying. Jeez.
Yeah, I thought you were being... I was going metaphysical here. Yes, flying type.
Okay, what is it super effective against? Grass. Why is it super effective against grass?
I think because it can blow petals into the wind and be its own...
Like flower?
Exactly like flower. I don't know. Like, again, this whole idea of wind being sharp comes into my head, and I always think of, like, wind cutting the stems and the blades off of a grass-type Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is it super effective against?
Fighting.
Why is that?
I think it is because if you're a fighter and you're in the air, you're weak. Because, like, you need to be on the ground. You become a target when you're in the air. And I think that is the thought process behind it. I don't necessarily agree with it or feel that feeling. But do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I have completely internalized flying is super effective against fighting. Just thinking about Pokemon.
I think about Pidgey swooping down and hitting Hitmonlee. And that is...
Yeah, I also do. It's either Hitmonlee or Machamp, and they can't do anything because they're flying.
Yeah, so they're on the ground, and the bird is
Yeah.
is using fly and swooping down and hitting them with beak first.
Yeah,
But
and no
that feels like it's bird versus fighting as opposed to flying versus fighting. You know?
Yeah, but then you have like non-bird flying types, right? I mean, you do. It's not a debate. There are non-bird flying types.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, like
Yeah.
We
don't fit into that. And is there any more?
Bug, but I feel like it's exactly the same reason as grass, as like I can imagine the wind sort of blowing bugs around, and like half the bug types have got tendrils and things that could get cut by air.
I think.
Also, bird type. because birds eat worms. That's what I internalize it, actually. Birds eat worms.
Worms. I thought it was because it blows it blows little bugs away.
I mean, that's good, but in my head it is Pidgey eating a Caterpie.
So it's just fully internalized as a Pokemon.
Yeah, I think every flying type is Pidgey in my head, and anything beyond that just gets a little bit more awkward.
Is it because is it anime Pidgey as well? In my mind, it is anime Pidgey.
No, it's the sprite for Pidgey, which is just like the bird from what's it called? Pokemon Red or Blue.
Yeah.
Generation
and then
1.
doing Gust and getting that horrible double cyclone wind animation.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. It is anime Pidgey because it's the flying that I'm getting in my head.
Yeah.
It's not the double gust. It is the. It's just hard. Like the psychology behind how different types can be worked out. It's just mass. Like we should do a whole podcast based on why is X super effective against X. Let's do that for the next one. Like we've done flying, we've done wind.
Yeah. Yeah, because flying wind type is one of those ones that makes sense because it resists the things that it's super effective against. Right, I like that. But then it kind of falls apart from Gen 2 because it's not. So it's weak to rock and electric, right?
And ice.
And ice, but then it's just not very effective against rock, electric, and steel.
Steel?
Yeah, so it's not very effective against steel, but it's not weak to steel. I don't know why, because steel's heavy, I guess. You can't blow. Wind can't blow.
I mean, again, back to the Pidgey analogy, flying and normal come hand in hand because, like, almost all the flying types that you find are normal types. Just Pidgey, probably. Spearow. And I feel like because they will go hand in hand. Steel, really? Not very effective.
It's not very effective against steel. But it does resist fighting bug and grass. And of course it's immune to ground. That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. I love immunities in the game.
Now, maybe to finish us off on wind, can you remember which Resident Evil game has a wind crest in it?
The wind crest?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's Resident Evil 1.
Correct. It's Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Great. Wow. That was quick. I wish that was the first question. What item are you thinking about? Is it the wind crest from Resident Evil 1?
It should have been the wind crest from Resident Evil 1.
Yeah, it really should have. Oh, damn it.
What a missed opportunity.
Why don't we re-record it? I'll just delete this one.
Okay, alright, yeah, sure. Alright, let's go.
Let's go again.
Yeah.
Right. Storm, Windcrest, and Pokemon types. And we talked about something for a long time, Pilotwings and how annoying it is. Right. Anyway, let's just leave it. Until next time, that guy's a maniac.
Whitey, blow my bender.